In this video, we're going to take a look at activity 1.2.3 multi-view drawings, and specifically we're going to take a look at the window block model and how to create a drawing in Onshape. So I'm going to start off with creating a new folder. We're going to go ahead and name this activity 1.2.3 multi-view drawings. Select create, and with that folder we're going to go ahead and select that, and in there we're going to go ahead and say create Onshape document, so which we'll call the window block, and select create. So as we get started, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with a sketch. So I'm going to select create new sketch, and I'm going to select the front plane as our sketch plane. I'm going to hide these other work planes by right clicking on them and selecting hide all planes. And I'm going to press the N key on my keyboard to turn this normal to our sketch plane. We'll go ahead and click the drop down and choose a center point rectangle. I'm going to choose the origin as the center, and I'm going to go ahead and draw out to go ahead and place that. So I'm going to go ahead and click. The measurements will show up here. This is going to be a 1.125. I'm going to select enter. 1.125, so 1 1/8 and by 1 1/8. Fully constrained, all the lines turn black. I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark. I'm going to go ahead and right click, select the isometric view, and what we're going to do is we're going to extrude, and we're going to select our sketch plane. I'm actually going to flip the direction, and we're going to go ahead and set this to be 1.125. And again, if I click there, I can see the preview. I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hide the origin since we don't need that anymore. And what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to create another sketch by selecting the front of this cube that we just created. I'm going to go ahead and press the N key on the keyboard. I'm going to use a corner rectangle. So by selecting the upper corner and drawing down like so. And you're going to notice that the measurements that we have to work with are, we know it's 1.125 wide, but this one is the one that we're kind of looking for. So I'm actually going to go ahead and say escape rectangle, and I'm going to use the dimension tool, so which is right here. I'm going to select the bottom of this, and I'm going to select this blue line, and we want this to be 0.25. Exactly. Now that that's fully constrained, I can select the green check mark. I'm going to go ahead and put this into the isometric view. Makes it a little easier to see your lines. And I'm going to go ahead and select extrude and select inside this shape. I'm actually going to remove material, and by a depth of 0.375. And if I click just inside this menu here, we'll see how far that the window block kind of gets going. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark. That's looking pretty good. And now I need to create the opening that I have for the front of this. Go ahead and select sketch, click on the front face here. I'm going to press the N key to turn this normal. I'm going to use that 2-point corner rectangle, click on this line, and I'm going to go ahead and draw in what kind of shape that I have going on here. Okay, so the height on this is going to be 0.5. And then once I have the other one, we're going to see that this is going to be a width of 0.375. Now, the one thing that you're going to see is this is not going to be completely centered, so within this shape. So I actually have to go up here and grab the dimension tool. I'm going to select the left edge of this block, and I'm going to go ahead and select the blue line. And it's looking for a measurement of 0.375 to center that right in the middle. Go ahead and select the green check mark to finish the sketch. Place it in the isometric view. I'm going to extrude, select this window. I'm going to go ahead and do a remove, and instead of a blind, I'm going to go ahead and say through all. And that's going to cut all the way through, and I can press the green check mark. If I hover around here and kind of rotate, I'm holding my right mouse button on my mouse and holding it down and moving it, I can see the window block and how the model and how it's created. If I need to change the appearance, I can always right click on part 1, go to edit appearance, maybe I want to choose a red color, select the green check mark, and that'll go through and apply that red color. So now that I have a part, I can go ahead and I can actually rename this. So we'll call this window block. And I'm going to right click on the name again, and I'm going to say create drawing of window block. And in this case, I want to utilize, so this one has recently opened. If I go into my folders, I can see that here are the templates that I have. I'm just going to use an A-sized title block that we created. I'm actually going to do it with no views, and just to show you the functionality, and we'll say OK. So now the first thing it's going to look for is it's looking to place the front view, and you can see here's the preview. So I'm actually going to place it here, and then it's going to look to set up, and if you look up here, this is a projected view. So if I go right above, if I click, that's going to place the top view, and in order for me to continue, you're going to see the projected view is still active. So I'm going to click that front view again, go off to the right side, click, that's going to place a right side view. I'm going to click that front view again, and that's going to, if I go up here diagonally, I'm going to place an isometric view. And I'm going to click to place it. So I'm going to go ahead and press escape, so that way I stop placing projected views. Some things that you might have to do is if I double left click on a view, is I can actually make some changes. So like here in the scaling, I may want to go, instead of a 2:1, I might want to go 1:1, and then go ahead and select like what kind of view and everything that we kind of have going on. Alright, so that's kind of what we kind of have going on as we go through and take a look at that. I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark. If we want to have the view label, we can double left click, or the scale label, we can uncheck it. I don't really like to have those on there very much, but if you need it, you can. If you right click on this, you can choose to go ahead and add some like shading and things like that. So, and that's exactly what we're kind of looking for as we go on. So show hide is where that lives. Show shaded view, it's going to provide the color. We're only going to shade that isometric view. If I double left click on the front view, we also want to choose, you know, as we look, we can kind of see some of the options that we kind of have going on and be able to change some of the different settings. So I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark. If I right click, you're going to see show and hide as far as some of those things. The thing we definitely want to show are the hidden lines. So same thing on like any of these views, show hide hidden lines. There's those. Same thing on your top view. We can show and hide those hidden lines. So this right here would be a good point to where you are creating that window block, creating a multi-view drawing, and this will finish out the window block model and drawing for activity 1.23 multi-view drawings.